And when you arrive in that place of comfort, just take a couple of those deep and energizing breaths deep into the belly. As you inhale, just really expand whatever needs expanding in your body. And as you exhale, you can release from the mouth, almost like a sigh. So just taking a couple more of those breaths. With the inhalation, you're bringing that fresh, energizing breath into your body. And with the exhalation, you can let a sigh out. Let the shoulders relax. Taking one more deep breath, deep into your body. Not just into the physical self, but take it deep into the stomach, deep into the second brain, deep into the soul. And then, just let everything relax. Just let yourself come to stillness now as you bring your full awareness onto your body. So just starting to be connected with wherever you are this morning. Just starting to be aware of any sensations in your body. And if there's any heaviness, so just in case you feel any heaviness in the body, let that go. So allow the heaviness to sink into the ground. And as that heaviness releases from the back of your body, allow the breath to bring a lightness into the front of your body, an openness. So you're releasing that heaviness, that which you don't need. And you're taking into your body a lovely lightness with the breath. So just concentrate on the natural rhythm of your breath. Concentrate on any sensations you might be getting in your body. And then just think about taking the awareness into those places where sometimes you're a little bit tense or a little bit tight. So that might be in your lower back, might be in the hips, might be in the shoulders. And just think about taking that breath into those places just to find that release. And as you breathe into those places, you might want to take a little bit of movement just to release any tension. And as you've taken those breaths into those places, just bring the awareness now back to the face to start with. So when we concentrate sometimes on the breath of letting go in the body, the face can become a little bit tense, a little bit tight. So just let yourself feel a softness about your face. Maybe give your jaw a little bit of a wiggle. And just take a moment to take the awareness up to the mind. So just take a moment to take your focus up to what is happening in your mind. Just observing the goings on in your mind. Any thoughts, any emotions, anything that maybe might be repetitive in your mind, just taking your awareness up there. And just let yourself observe. So don't get involved in what's happening in the mind, just observe. Just take a moment just to be still with those thoughts, with those emotions. And then taking the focus away from the mind, you can just bring the awareness back into the body, back to the breath, and starting to think about lengthening those breaths. So you're starting to think about taking really nice deep breaths in and out. So as you take those breaths in and out, take them deep into your belly. As you inhale, let the belly expand. Feel the expansion in the whole of your body, in the whole of your heart space. Really allow yourself to open up. And as you exhale again, just allowing that tension, allowing that heaviness to release into the ground beneath. So where you are, wherever you are, just really starting to connect again to where the physical body is right now. And then just starting from here to think about making movements into the fingers and the toes, into the hands and the feet, into the wrists and the ankles. And then just take a nice big stretch overhead. So reach into your fingertips if that feels good. So you're lying on your back, reaching into the fingertips and pointing the toes. So have a full body stretch here. And we're just going to start to bend the knees now. Bring the hands down next to you and just bring those knees to the soles of the feet are on the floor and just shuffle the lower back. Just let the shoulders release and let the back of your neck be nice and strong. Just take a moment here to let yourself arrive. Maybe again, there might be tension in the neck. Take the nose from left to center, to right, back to center. And we're just going to bring that right knee in towards us now. So just take the right knee nice and tight in towards you. Those of you who want to take it a bit deeper, you can start to straighten out that left leg. Otherwise, keeping the left leg bent. Release the left hand to the floor for a bit of support and start to just take some circles with the knee, but the movement's coming from the hip. So take those circles as big as you like or as small as you like, but just be aware of what movement is available to you today in the area of the hip. And when you've taken those circles in one direction, just taking them back in the other direction. Remembering to breathe here. And then just bring that knee back in towards you, just taking the hands around the back of your thigh and just starting to straighten that leg up towards the ceiling. And just flex the foot for a moment, point the toe, and take a couple of circles in one direction and in the other direction. And then you can come to stillness. And we're just going to really push into that foot now. So just flex the foot, find a nice stretch in the back of the leg. And if you want to work into your core, you can take a deep breath in. And from the chest, as we exhale, we're going to lift up to bring the forehead towards the knee. And it might not come towards the knee, or it might come towards the knee. It's entirely up to you. That left leg is either straight or bent. Holding it here, lifting through the chest. And then with control, you can release all the way back down again. Release your hand. And with control, keep that foot flexed. You're bringing it all the way down to the floor. And as you do, think about pushing the foot into the wall or into whatever is in front of you. And then releasing it. So again, just move into those shoulders. Make sure the neck is comfortable. Bend both knees. Maybe take a little bit of a movement with the knees from side to side. Find what's comfortable on the lower back and bring the left knee in towards you. Just take a hug in towards you first of all. You might be then straightening that right leg. You might have it bent. Right hand comes on the floor, and let's start to find that range of motion now in the left leg. So circles from the hip into the knee in one direction. And then taking that back into the other direction. So it can be as big circles or as small as you want, but what you want to do is find where that range of motion is in the leg today. So bringing your knee back to center. We're starting to straighten the leg. Take the hands behind the thigh. Some of you might take the hands behind your calf and just flex the foot. So you can feel a lovely stretch down the back of that hamstring. And then we're pointing the toe. And then we're taking circles in one direction from the ankle and in the other direction. And then coming to stillness. So we're just going to find that lovely stretch again as you flex your foot. And again, taking a deep breath in. If you want to work into the core, we inhale. As we exhale, we're lifting up through the chest, bringing the head towards the knee. It might come up higher this time. The knee might come closer towards the forehead. It might not. Holding it here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and releasing all the way back down again. Release the hands. Push the lower back into the floor, so we're working that core, and bring that left leg all the way slowly down to the floor. And as you do, you're pushing into the hip. Just letting it relax when you get there, bending both knees. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to take some circles with the knees. So bringing the knees in towards us, we're going to take the knees in opposite directions. So just try to be quite strong in your core here as you take the knees in opposite directions. Keep the back of the pelvis neutral. And then take them back in a different direction. So they're still going in different directions, but they're moving in the opposite way to what they just were. And then just come to stillness, release your feet to the floor. You might need a little bit of support here underneath the legs, but bring the soles of the feet together. And just let the hips come out to the side. Have a little bit of a rock here from side to side. Again, make sure that your head is nice and neutral, nice and relaxed. The jaws relaxed. And just to move into our shoulders a little bit, we'll take a deep breath in, take those arms overhead, palms facing up, and then you're holding opposite elbows. So the elbows are together above that, so you're holding one hand on each elbow above the head. And I want you here just to take 3 deep breaths into the heart center, into the chest. So you're inhaling deeply. Exhale, you can release from the mouth or the nose. Let the lower back relax, let the hips relax. You might feel tension there. Taking those 3 breaths in and out. And as you take that release, just the tension moves from the shoulders, moves from the hips. So when you've taken the 3 breaths in and out, take the hands back next to you. Just help yourself just to bring those knees up towards the ceiling and take a moment just to roll over onto your side, protect your neck. Come to fetus if you like, or just a nice relaxed position on your side. Close the eyes, connect with the body. Take a nice breath in and out. And then you're coming up to a nice comfortable seated position. So when you arrive in your seated position, you can be cross legs if you want to. You might want to pop something under the bottom to bring the legs up. If cross legs not comfortable, you might take the legs so they're long in front of you, but just so they're slightly apart. They don't have to be really far apart, just slightly apart, just for what we're going to do next. So you're sitting on your sit bones, the spine is nice and lengthened, so we're not rounding the back. And we're going to take the arms for the deep inhalation all the way overhead. Reach into the fingertips, and we're going to bring the right arm in front of the left. Take the hands then onto the knees. So just give your shoulders maybe a bit of a roll here. And we're just going to start to take some circles from the hips. So just starting to move into, so this is a bit of shoulder stretch as well. Move into the circles. And we're taking the circles clockwise or anti-clockwise, doesn't matter which. Move into your shoulders. And then we can take those circles in the opposite direction. And then just come back to stillness. So that right arm is over the left. Bring the arms up to shoulder height and bend your elbows. So either the back of the hands come together, or you can take it to full eagle pose and take a bind. If you can, bring your elbows up to shoulder height. Take a deep breath in, and from your waist, so you'll need to engage your core here, you're just going to fold forward. Hold it here. Reach into the fingertips, reach into the crown of your head. For 1, 2, push the elbows away. 3, 4, 5. Lovely. Inhale, come all the way back up again. Releasing your hands and take those arms all the way overhead. This time, the left arm comes in front of the right, and we take the hands back onto your knees. Let the shoulders relax, maybe give them a roll, because they'll want to tense up a bit. And then we're going to take some circles again. So we're moving into the hips, the spine, the shoulders. In one direction. And then just take those circles back in the other direction. Remembering to breathe here. And then coming to stillness. So sitting up again, nice and straight, core is engaged. So the left arm this time is over the right. We bring those arms up to shoulder height. We bend the elbows. Back of the hands can come together, or take an extra bind for eagle arms. Elbows up to shoulder height. Deep breath in. Pull the belly button back towards the spine, and almost like you're reaching forward, so you'll feel a stretch in the hips as well here, as well as the shoulders. Holding it here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, coming all the way up again. Release the hands, nice big stretch overhead. Palms come together. Maybe looking up here to really find that stretch. And then bringing your hands to your heart center. Just give yourself a little bit of a roll through the shoulders. Maybe a bit of a stretch of the neck from side to side. And from here, we're going to come onto all fours. So just finding yourself on all fours when you're ready. So knees about hip distance apart. Try not to have them completely together, about hip distance apart. If you want to tuck the toes, if you want a little bit of a stretch into the toes today, tuck those toes under. Hands coming on the floor, nice wide fingers. So just remembering, you're not just relying on the heel of the hands to hold your weight. The weight is distributed across all of the hands. So we've got nice broad shoulders here. And we're going to move into our cat-cow. Now, I want you to think about the breath as you move into your cat-cow, but let your breath come in and out of your body as it needs to for you. So I usually say inhale, look up, bottom up, belly to the floor, exhale, round to the back. If you want to mix it up a bit, you can inhale with the back rounded. You might need some extra space in your back. And you can exhale as you come forward. Nothing is wrong, but just take the breaths as deep and long as you can as you move. So you're first of all just starting to move into the center line of your body. And you might want to move a little bit deeper as you take more and more movements. So you might start gentle, then start to move deeper within reason, as long as it feels okay. And let's take some nice stretches to each side. So just starting to think about coming to stillness again. Toes again might be tucked under or released. Hips over to the right side, look over the right shoulder. Really send those hips over so you've got a nice stretch in the left side. And then coming back to center, taking the stretch to the other side. So hips to left, look over the left shoulder. And then just finishing off your cat-cow however you need to. So you might want to open your shoulders. You might want to take some circles into your hips. You might want to take figure of 8. Take the weight forwards. Take the hips backwards. Whatever you need, remembering to keep breathing as you move. So just thinking about coming to the end of that sequence now, coming onto all fours, and we're going to come slowly up into downward dog. So we are going to tuck the toes now. My back is nice and lengthened. Don't worry about what I'm doing with my neck. Your neck is an extension of your spine. So you're looking kind of just slightly forward, looking down towards the floor. Tuck the toes, hover the knees. We're just going to hold it here for 5, 4, it's strong on the core, 3, 2, 1. Then I'm sending my bottom up towards the ceiling. I'm not straightening my legs yet. Really want to create length in my spine. When I've got as much length as I can in the spine, then I'm pushing into the heels. Walking my dog. Move however you need to in your downward dog. And then come to stillness and take 3 deep breaths in and out. Again, on the inhalation, we're bringing light into the body, and on the exhalation, we're releasing what is heavy. So from here, you might want to take a bunny hop forward, you might want to step forward, you might want to take a couple of steps forward. We're coming into a flat back. So hands can come on the shins. We're lengthening forward through the crown of the head, looking about a foot in front of you. Tuck your belly in. Your hands might be on the floor here. You might find flat back here. And then we're going to exhale. We're going to fold forwards. 3 breaths, folding forwards. Bend the knees if you have to here. This is all about the length in your spine, not stretching into the hamstrings. They'll have a nice stretch in a moment. Coming back into a flat back, so you can keep those knees bent. Lengthen the head forwards. And we're going to bend the knees just a little bit more. Plant the feet into the floor, tuck the belly in. Let's take the arms overhead to find chair pose. Sink nice and low in your chair. So if the shoulders are a little bit tight, you can just think about taking a rotation from the shoulders, so you're taking the back of the hands to the front of the room, and that opens the shoulders a bit. If they're not tight, you might want to take the hands together. Wherever we are, we're bringing hands to heart center. We're going to take a little twist over towards the right side. So you're twisting middle back towards the right side. You might want to hook that right left elbow over the right leg. And if you want to take a little balance, start taking the weight onto the left foot and just taking your toes onto your left ankle, the back of your left ankle. Hold it here. You're releasing your foot back to the floor. Come back to center. Inhale, take a big stretch overhead. We're folding forwards again. Exhale, bend the knees, reach forwards. 3 breaths here. When you've taken the 3 breaths, we come to a flat back again. Starting to bend the knees, tuck the belly in. Arms come overhead, let's find chair. Shoulders are relaxed, pelvis is neutral, legs are strong. And bring the hands together to heart center. We're twisting to the other side, to the left side. Take the twist. You might again just pop that hand onto the knee. You might be up a bit higher. Start to, if you want, balance on the other foot. Toe comes on the back of the ankle. Sink nice and low for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release that foot. Come back to center. Sink a bit lower. Just bring the crown of the head up higher. And then inhale the arms all the way overhead. Reach into the fingertip. Full body stretch. Come on to your tiptoes. Lovely. We're going to release the heels and release the hands. Come into the front of our mat to take some traditional sun salutations with variations. So let's come to the front of the mat. We'll work slowly and with the breath to start with. Deep breath in. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, we're taking the arms all the way overhead. Let's keep the palms together as we dive forwards onto the ground. I'm going to inhale, take my right leg back. And I am going to release the knee and release the toe. And I am going to lengthen forward. If you do want to keep your toe underneath, some people get a cramp, that's fine. We're going to inhale, lift up, reach into the fingertips, and exhale, sink forward, let the shoulders release. One more time. Inhale, lifting up, exhale, release. Just take a moment of stillness here. And then reach forwards, take the hands on the floor. Come into plank or half plank, so either here or knees can be on the floor and the lower legs are off the floor. We're lowering down now onto the floor and taking a back bend. Keep the elbows in tight, push the pubis bone into the floor, lift and lengthen the spine and point the toes. Into your downward dog. Take a nice breath in and out into your downward dog here. And we're going to inhale the right leg up. So slowly, slowly bringing that knee to the nose, take that foot to the front of the mat. Releasing your knee, toes can stay flexed or release. And then we're going to inhale the arms overhead, reach up, exhale, sink into your hips. Bringing the hands to heart center, we're going to take a twist towards the bent leg, so towards the right leg. So lift and lengthen and exhale, take that twist. The twist comes into the upper back, shoulders, the chest. Lower back is still facing forward a bit. If you're strong here, you can lift that back knee off the floor. You're twisting to your right side. Stay open in the chest for 2, 3, 4. Knees off the floor or on the floor, doesn't matter which. 5. Lovely, coming back to center. Whoops. Releasing that back knee. We're going to take the arms overhead. Take a nice stretch now into the arms behind you. So just take the arms, interlace them behind you. Open the chest, look up, deep breath in. And exhale, release. Release your hands, stepping forwards to the front of your mat. Let's inhale the arms overhead, reach up, palms together, and down to the heart center. So we're going to take that to the other side now. Release your hands. Deep breath in. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, we're taking the arms overhead. Keep those hands together as we swan dive forward. Tuck the belly in. Lovely. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in as we send that left leg back. And you can release the knee here. Toes can stay either flexed or released. Let's inhale, reach up, creating length. Exhale, sink a bit deeper, push those hips forward. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, releasing. Let the shoulders relax. Lovely, keeping that length in your spine now. Reach forwards, hands onto the floor. Lift up that back knee, your plank or your half plank. Moving down onto the floor. So trying to keep that body nice and strong, bend your elbows, and then take yourself into a back bend. Shoulder blades together, lifting up, point the toes. Shoulders relaxed, and then back into your downward dog. Take a nice deep breath in and exhalation. So this time we're taking that left leg up. Slowly, slowly now, bring the knee to the nose. Bring the shoulders over the wrists and plant that foot at the front of your mat. Release your knee and release your toes if you want to. Inhale, lifting up. Find that length first of all before we twist. Exhale, just sinking a bit lower. Inhale, lifting up, and then palms come together into the heart center. We're twisting to the left side. So the twist is coming from the diaphragm area, opening the chest to the left side. Lovely. If that feels okay, lifting that back knee off the floor. Otherwise, we're keeping it on the floor and concentrating on the breath with the twist. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lovely. You can either release the knee or keep it off the floor, coming back to the front again. Inhale those arms up, and we're going to open the chest to the ceiling. So take the hands behind you, looking up, taking a deep breath in. Exhale, coming forwards again, and we're stepping to the front of the mat, into our forward fold. Let's inhale the arms all the way overhead, and exhale the hands to the heart center. Taking one more round of our traditional sun salutations with some variations. You can take the feet hip distance apart if you want to, or together. Hands coming next to you. We're going to do that swan dive again. So we're inhaling, exhaling. Inhale, if you want to take a baby back bend this time, push your hips forward, open your chest and looking up. Pull the belly in as we swan dive forwards on the exhalation. And then let's take a bit of a flat back. So you might take the hands onto the shins and lengthen through your head. Bend the knees, taking the right leg back. Releasing the knee, releasing the toe. You're lengthening forwards, reaching forwards, and then bringing the arms all the way overhead. Let the shoulders relax. We're going to bend the elbows now. So we're going to take the hands so they face the front and just bend your elbows. Bring them to shoulder height. Sink a bit lower. Another deep breath in. Exhale, sink a bit lower. Take the hands forwards now and onto the floor. Coming back into plank or half plank. Moving through knees, chest, chin, or bringing yourself down onto the floor. So coming all the way down this time, we want to open the chest a bit more. So we're going to swim the arms forward, as much room as you've got, probably more than me. Take the hands behind you, interlace, push the pubic bone into the floor and lifting up. Holding it here, shoulder blades together. Lovely, releasing yourself back down to the floor and taking yourself into your downward dog. Take a nice deep breath in and out here. Let's take that slow motion again by lifting the right leg up, bringing the knee to the nose, shoulders come over wrists, plant the hand on the floor. Release that back knee if you want to, or you can keep it off the floor. We're twisting now. So we're taking the left hand onto the floor. I'm just starting to open my chest to the right. Arm comes up. Knee can be on the floor or off the floor. Hold it here for 2, 3, 4, 5. Reach into those fingertips. Take the hands on the floor and step forwards. Inhale, the arms coming all the way overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Taking ourselves through one last swan dive. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, reach up, maybe push the hips forward, and then swan diving forwards. Come to a flat back. Bend your knees, left leg comes back. Release the knee to the floor. You can keep the knee off the floor if you're feeling really strong in the legs today. And let's inhale the arms overhead. Find that length first of all. Then we're opening those shoulders by palms facing forward and take the elbows to shoulder height and really push the shoulder blades together. Take the arms overhead, find the length. And then coming into plank or your half plank. Releasing down all the way to the floor. And again, just let yourself just come to stillness for a moment. So legs about hip distance apart. We're swimming those hands around again. And this time, if you want to, you can lift up through your chest. You can also lift the legs if you want. We're holding it here. Keep breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, releasing. Hands under shoulders. You can come onto the knees or straight into your downward dog. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Left leg comes up, front of the mat. So you can release that right knee if you want to, or keep it off the floor. Taking the twist to the left side. Plant the right hand on the floor, almost like you're opening the chest now. Remember, it's from the diaphragm up, reaching up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breath in. Exhale, release. Stepping forwards into your forward fold. And then let's inhale those arms all the way up for a lovely big stretch. Releasing the hands. So that kind of got everyone quite energetic. You might want to just release the hands, come to Tadasana, maybe close the eyes. Just let the breath come back to normal. So if the breath is elevated, we just want to bring it back to normal before we move into our nice stretchy few postures. So closing the eyes, just being aware of your body, being aware of the sensations in your body, being aware of trying to be as equal on both feet as you can, letting your shoulders relax. So when you've taken a few breaths, you can reopen the eyes. Just make sure you're in a nice, strong standing position. Feet about hip distance apart, nicely engaged with the floor. Legs are strong. Hips and pelvis are neutral, so no bottoms stuck out. Spine is lengthened. We're going to take the hands to heart center now. Taking that left leg back. So the right toes are facing towards what would be the front of the mat. The left toes to the side of the mat up to about a 45-degree angle. Arms are up at shoulder height. So let's bend into that front knee. You're moving into your warrior two. So nice and open in the chest. Look over the front fingertips. Let the shoulders relax. So the breath should be coming easily. We're not pushing the breath here. If you're pushing the breath, you're in it too deeply, so move yourself out of it gently. We'll take extended side angle. So we'll just start to reach forwards, hand coming onto your leg, and reach up with the left hand. If you want to take it deeper, but make sure the lower back feels okay, you can take the hand onto the floor, and we're taking a rotation from the shoulder, and you can take that all the way over the air. Hold it here, push into that back foot. Staying open in the chest. So we're going to push into the back foot now, reach into our chest and come all the way up and straighten the front leg now. So Trikonasana triangle is the same really, but you're just keeping that front leg straight but not hyperextended. So reaching forwards and up, create a lot of space here. Hand doesn't have to come onto the floor, just come to wherever feels comfortable. Don't lock that knee out. You might want to look up towards the hand, which is overhead, push into the back heel. And we might want to go for a balance here. So if you want to go for a balance, just bending that front knee, taking the block, or you can take the hand on the floor, and you can think about lifting that back foot off the floor. You can come here if you like, if that feels okay, because you're engaging your core. You might want to find the balance by lifting the foot off the floor. My wall is in the way. If you can, flex that left foot and look up towards the ceiling. When you've had a go at that, coming back down into your warrior two. Keep those arms nice and straight. Bring the toes towards the side of the mat. So take the hands onto the hips. Just give yourself a roll of the shoulders, opening your chest. And then you're folding from your hips, so reaching forward. You might want to bend the knees. So toes are facing forward, not a 10 to 2. You might want to bend the knees and take the hands onto the floor. Just have a little bend of each knee and straighten the other one now. So you're straightening one leg, bending the other. Straightening one leg, bending the other. You might get down a little bit further, but just feeling nice stretch in the sides of those inner thighs. And then just let yourself come to stillness. Take a flat back, lengthen forwards, and then bend your knees again. Crown of the head to the floor. 3 breaths here. Come to a half lift. We're taking the feet now so they're at 10 to 2. And we're bending the knees a bit, coming into our goddess. Take the arms overhead, reach into the fingertips, sink into goddess, shoulders relaxed. Feel as though you're opening up through the inner thighs. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lovely. Inhale, straighten those legs. We're taking all of those movements to the other side of the mat. So we're opening up. Make sure those hands are parallel. The left toes now to the back of the mat. Right toes are to the side or 45-degree angle towards the front foot, not towards the back of your body. Spine is lengthened. Don't lean forwards here. Bend to the front knee. Look over the front fingertips if it feels okay. Let those shoulders release. Moving into extended side angle, create a bit of lift and length first. We're pushing that back hip all the way into the back heel. Hand can come onto the leg or it can come onto the floor. Arm can stay up towards the ceiling, or you can bring the shoulder, so the whole of the shoulder is facing towards your ear and then reaching into your fingertip. Keeping your leg nice and open, so you don't want the knee to come along the center line of the body. Pushing into the back foot. And then when you're ready, push into that back foot, reach through your sternum, come all the way up, straighten that front leg. Let's take Trikonasana, take some length, bringing your hand wherever it comes. So it's a bit of a twist as well here. So staying open in your chest, arm comes overhead, back foot strong, reach through the chest. Don't just dump into the lower back. Don't kind of lean forwards over this to get lower. Stay up, stay open in your chest. For 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, at the moment, everybody's balance. If your balance is good at the moment, brilliant. Because so much going around in everyone's mind that balance can be thrown off. But if you want to take a balance, you can take the hand onto the floor, lift that back foot. Lovely. Holding it here, if you can. You might just come into a half of the balance. Just taking the foot off the floor, then stack the hips. See, my balance is rubbish as well. Holding it here. And let's release back into our warrior 2. Straighten that front leg. We're going to take goddess. So feet are coming to the sides of the mat and then take them at 10 to 2. Let's take a big stretch overhead, maybe on tiptoes this time. Palms together and release the hands to heart center. Either staying on tiptoes if you really want to work those legs, or release the heels to the floor, find goddess. So we're taking the tailbone towards the ground. We're opening up through the inner thighs. Lovely. Inhale, straighten the legs. Take the hands onto the hips. Feet now face the side of the mat. So we're going to interlace the hands behind us again. Keep those chests open. Roll the shoulders back, interlace the hands, pull them away from your bottom. Take a deep breath in. And you can bend the knees if you want. Come forward. If this feels like too much, you haven't got control, you can release the hands onto the floor. Otherwise, taking the crown of the head down towards the floor. 3 deep breaths in and out here. Lovely. Push the feet into the floor, lifting all the way up. Let's take the arms overhead for one last big stretch. And bringing your hands to your heart center. Take both feet together. We're going to come down onto the floor. So if you want to come down in a squat, you can. Otherwise, you can just bring your bottom onto the floor. So if it is a squat, it's a little bit of a balance. So don't come onto the floor yet if you're not going to come through the squat, because we're going to take a little bit of a balance. So we're going to let everything release. Just let everything be still. Try and find that drishti. I think it's kind of important to balance at the moment, just because there's so much going through everyone's mind. So a place that doesn't move, where you can focus your eyes. When your eyes are flitting, that usually means the mind is moving everywhere. So find somewhere you can focus your eyes, then taking a nice deep breath in. Arms are coming overhead. Finding the place you can focus your eyes and just bring yourself up onto your tiptoes. This is our balance today. We're holding it here. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you might want to lower those heels slightly. Bring your hands to heart center. We're coming all the way down into a squat. Those of you who just want to come halfway through, keep your back nice and straight. And just bend down maybe into chair. Take 3 breaths here. Those of you who want to move all the way down into a squat, just keeping the back straight, making sure the thighs are working and it's not moving into the knees with any kind of discomfort, and coming all the way down. So we're going to release our bottoms to the floor, taking your bottom backwards, taking the legs wide. Have a little rock from side to side here. So sitting up nice and straight here, we'll take that forward fold just to bring everything down. So first of all, we're stretching into the side of the inner thighs, and then we're just going to let everything release. So if you want to, you can take cushions under the knees if they're a little bit, if the hips are a little bit tight. Mine tend to be quite tight. So it is comfortable, it gives you support. Give yourself a little wiggle from side to side. Try and stay open in the chest. Lift and lengthen, and then folding from the hips so the chest is open. 2 more of these. And then you can just let yourself fold all the way down. Release your head, maybe take the hands on the head. Let the breath come back to normal. Make sure that jaw isn't tight, give it a wiggle. And then you can just roll up your spine when you're ready. Let's take a nice seated twist. So let's take a really gentle one. So the pelvis is going in the same direction as we're going, so we can take the twist a bit deeper. So knees go over to the right side. You can have the legs however you want to. Try and sit as equally as you can on both sit bones. It won't be completely equal. We'll take the right arm overhead and take it behind you. Left arm reaches up. Don't use that right hand to twist you around. Use your exhalation to come round into a twist, and take 3 breaths in and out here. So the inhalation lifts, the exhalation might twist a bit deeper. Let's inhale that left arm back overhead and release it onto the ground. Bringing the knees back to center, just finding both sit bones equal in the center, and then take the knees to the other side. So we're taking the left arm behind us, creating as much length as we can in the spine. First of all, hand comes quite close into the back of your bottom. Inhale the right arm up and use the exhalation to twist as deep as feels comfortable. 3 breaths in and out. Kind of let the exhalation release any of that tension. And then inhale, coming all the way back again, releasing your hands and taking the knees in front of you, equal on both sit bones. So we're coming back down onto our backs for our last little posture before we come into Shavasana. So this might be the stage where you put your socks on. It might be the stage where you just get anything around you that you need for your Shavasana. So you can either move down for using a little bit of your core, or you can just come all the way down using your hands and roll down your spine and bring the knees in towards you when you arrive, just to let everything release. So if you want to use the core, hands can come in front of you and you can start to roll down the spine. You can take it a bit deeper if you like and take the knees off the floor and slowly, slowly, slowly push the lower back into the floor, release all the way down. If you did that, take the arms overhead and then bring those knees in towards you. And wherever you are, this might be time to rock from side to side. It might be time to just take just a couple of circles in opposite directions. Make whatever movements you would like to make. Release your feet to the floor. Hands come next to you. Chin's tucked in. Just take a moment of stillness here. So we're going to finish off with a nice strong bridge pose. When we reach our bridge, take 5 to 8 breaths in and out, and you can take variations if you like. If you take a full wheel in your practice, you can take a full wheel. Otherwise, we're just staying with bridge. So heels fairly close in towards your bottom, feet are hip distance apart, and the knees are over the feet, knees are over the ankles. Let's take a strong pelvic tilt now. So push the lower back into the floor. You can feel that engagement. Just let yourself release it again. Push the lower back into the floor, and then you're starting to curl the tailbone off the floor, lifting all the way up. Push the hips nice and high. If the shoulders are feeling a little bit tight, make sure the back of the neck's long. You can take the arms overhead, palms facing up. If you want to take more of a back bend, you can take the hands underneath your hips and lift up a bit higher. If you want to open the chest a bit more, take the arms onto your sides, interlace underneath you. 5 to 8 breaths here, keeping those knees, if you can, above the ankles, as long as it feels okay. Keep looking up towards the ceiling. Don't really want to be moving the head around too much here. Just be nice and kind to your neck. Send the breath into the heart space, the heart center. Bring energy into the heart space. Release, just let it all go. If you took 5 breaths, take 1 more deep breath in and release wherever the hands are. They're overhead, you can bring them down before you start to roll down your spine again and bring your knees in towards you. Again, if you want to rock, you can rock. If you took the 8 breaths, you'll probably be coming down about now. Releasing the knees towards you just to counterbalance that back bend, that nice energizing back bend. And let's find our final Shavasana. So we might be taking feet to the outside of the mat and the knees together. This is quite nice if you haven't got a bolster. Back of the neck's nice and long. Let's have the palms facing up today to accept the energy of the universe. If you're really feeling over energized, too much going on, palms face down. Just take the nose from side to side again, just releasing any tension in the neck. Come back to center and just let anything that needs to be released move back into the ground. Close the eyes. And take 3 deep breaths in through your nose. And sigh through the mouth. 2 more of those. And as you sigh, just think about letting that heaviness go. Think about letting go what may have come up in your practice. Let the rest of your body sink into the ground. Sigh out what you don't need mentally. Find that release physically. And just start to be aware of the sensations in your body. Let your breathing return to normal. If you're feeling tension anywhere, just allowing yourself to let that go, giving yourself permission to let it go. Find softness in wherever your body is. Softness where there's tightness, where there's heaviness, where there's hardness. Take a moment to observe and acknowledge yourself wherever you are mentally now. Where it feels like scrambled eggs or something in there, just use the exhalation to just see if you can visualize releasing anything that's stuck up there in the mind that you don't need. And then just allow yourself to focus just for a minute on yourself as a whole being, your body and your breath, your mind, your emotions, and that energy we can't see. Some people call it the soul, the spirit. You don't want to call it that, just call it that energy that we cannot see. Just allow yourself to really connect as a whole being, just in silence, just in stillness, completely present with what is you. And maybe now you can allow yourself, feeling as connected as you are, to move back into the world around you. So you might want to be aware of noises and touch on skin, of just any energy that's around you. You might feel like your energy is telling you to move a little bit. So move into the fingers, move into the toes. Give the jaw a wiggle, let the face be soft. Maybe have a little smile. Sometimes that helps. If you want to have a stretch overhead again, you can. Hopefully you're feeling nice and energized. Let there be softness where there's needed to be softness. You can either stay on the floor to close your practice, you're in your space, you can do what you like, or if you would like to come up to seated, then you can eventually bend the knees and just roll over onto one side and come up to seated. And just place the hands wherever you feel comfortable. It might be on the knees, in the lap. You might want to take hold of a chakra, the heart chakra, the solar plexus chakra. Sometimes we feel a lot there. Maybe the sacral chakra, or even the throat chakra, communication. And when you're in a position where you've just taken a moment of stillness with the hands wherever they need it to be, third eye even, crown. You can take hands back to heart center, and you can close your practice however you wish. Thank you very much for joining me this morning, everyone. I hope that energized you and set you up for another kind of day of this craziness. But yeah, thanks for joining me. If you do have any feedback, particularly if there's anything that you feel you want to do or something that would help, something more of, please do let me know. I know I'm in communication with quite a lot of you, so please feel free to keep that communication running. If there was any technical problems for anyone, also do let me know. I'm really trying to stay as up to date as I can with all the technical side of things. It's been a little bit of a, you know, a steep learning curve, but do let me know about any of that. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be putting a lot of these videos just on YouTube as well. So if you ever want 5 minutes, you can just dip in and out. So hopefully the quality is good enough to do that. Thank you very much, everyone. Really nice to join you. Hopefully see you again in person soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Abby. It's great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Abby.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.